Well, hello everyone. This is Chrystal Lynn with Chrystal Lynn Astrology, and I am super excited to come on live tonight as we are doing our first winner of our free reading. I will be doing a 4-week series on Wednesday nights. So I just want to announce we do have a winner tonight. If you did give us your email and your information, that will still be in our hat, so to speak. And can you also have a chance to win further, into our series further. So I hope you'll all stay tuned tonight. The other thing that I'm trying to incorporate is as I'm doing this reading, I want to also be teaching you guys a little bit on how to actually interpret a reading. Now, all astrologers have different styles, different ways, and that's what makes the language, I call it a language, of astrology so beautiful. So, I just have, my way, and maybe it'll help you spark your way. So, even though we're going to focus on our special winner that I'll announce in a minute, um, I'm also, thinking of all of you and how this can help your astrology. So we're getting ready to get going here. Also, there will be some questions and answers that I think come through towards the end. I will take some questions and hopefully give you some answers. So stay tuned for that as well. So tonight, our weekly winner is a beautiful young lady named Lauren, and her email really, really touched me. One of the things that I'm noticing so much of is many of my emails are from the younger generation. And Lauren is born in 1990. And that's really exciting for me because during those years and that generation, there is so much going on. So to have the privilege to get to help, guide the younger generation through our times is just very fascinating to me and helps me in my own family because I have children from different age groups and my oldest son is 1989. So I'm also watching their lives. So I'm in a good position. So tonight, the chart that I'm going to look at, Lauren's birthday, and this is for those of you who would like to look this up. I'm not going to have the chart where you can see it tonight. So if you're on your computer and you want to follow along, we're going to look up April 29th, 1990, 10:09 a.m. in Sacramento, California. So this is an exciting chart to read. So as I pull this chart up, the first thing that I like to do is kind of get to know the person on the other end of that chart. So, as I'm looking at this chart, before I even interpret anything or look at anything in the future or the past, I just want to get to know Lauren tonight. So, if I'm looking at this chart, I would say, wow, Lauren, you have a very, very special chart. Right away, and this also helps us use our intuition. When you open up a chart, let yourself feel it a minute. Those of you who want to read charts, let yourself feel it a minute. Look at, the planets and the energy and let yourself just kind of glance over it. What's your feeling about this chart? Sometimes I open a chart and I'm like, whoa, this is a very deep, dynamic person. Or I open another chart and I go, oh my gosh, here's a musician. You can just kind of get a flavor. So that's the first thing I like to do. So the next thing I like to do is look for patterns, anything that stands out right away in the chart. Do I see any specific patterns? Conjunctions is the first thing I look at. So right out the gate, looking at your chart, Lauren, I am very intrigued with the fact that you have your ascendant and moon sign in the same sign in Cancer. Okay, so there is a conjunction. So for those of you who ask, about the moon and the ascendant conjunction, this is extremely powerful. When we look at our ascendant, that is often what we reflect to other people. And they will see that in us first. So although Lauren is a Taurus, her rising sign is in Cancer. So she is going to automatically have a very watery, dominant look. Okay, if that makes sense. That probably wasn't the best way to say it, but have a very watery side to her. So when we look at astrology and we look at the water signs, what are some of, the descriptions that we know? We know that first you're going to see the eyes. Water sign eyes, it's like you just want to go swimming in them, especially in Cancer. They're very big, they're very round, and they're almost so inviting that you just feel like you're at home. I mean, you just feel like you're at home. A Cancer also has the way of picking up on the vibration around them. So, as a water sign, they're extremely intuitive. When they walk into a whole room, they really can pick up on the vibration and the energy and the emotion of the room as a whole. Not necessarily picking up on each individual person right away, but getting a big glimpse of, the room, the feeling of the room, the people in the room. And often you'll also see a Cancer. I'll try to do a little description, but Cancer people will often really do a lot of very kind of lackadaisical, kind of just moving around in their chair, picking up on the energy, really kind of, you'll see them in all kinds of interesting positions because they just kind of feel the whole vibe and they let their bodies just relax into it. Now, Lauren, you also have your moon sign in Cancer. Typically, when we look at a chart, the moon sign really is our soul, it's our emotions, but it's what we hide from others. It's often what people don't see in us. So, when you have an ascendant and a moon in the same sign, guess what? You don't really get to hide. You don't have that place that you can hide. And for some people, especially in the water signs, like myself, I have an ascendant and a moon in Pisces. It's the same type of effect. So people see right through me. I really am not able to hide how I feel. And that's the same for you. That part of you is so dominant that, people will see that Cancerian vibe all over you. Now, the other thing I look at when I'm looking at patterns, because I'm looking at the planets in the chart, the dominant planets, the prime planets are going to be Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, of course, in the ascendant. So when I'm just doing a quick personality profile, I'm going to just look right away at where the main planets are in your chart and start to see kind of a face and a person come through. So we have this strong water vibe, the big eyes. A lot of times, Cancer eyes are green, much like the ocean. They kind of can have a marbling look because also Cancer's ruled by the moon. So another strong attribute of the Cancer is they are able to set the mood. They walk in the room, and if they're emotionally up or down, everyone is going to begin to ride that wave. They dominate the emotional current, just like the moon does when it connects to the ocean. And so, again, just another attribute, because I'm getting to know Lauren, right? When you're looking at others' charts, you're getting to know that person. Now, the other pattern that I see is the fact that you have Sun and Mercury conjunct in Taurus. So people who are born with the Sun-Mercury conjunction, again, another extremely powerful aspect, because now it's the Sun that really rules your mind and how you think and where you're headed in life, what you're trying to accomplish in life, is also empowered by Mercury, which is another, how you think, how you communicate. So you'll see this a lot in teachers, in actors, actresses, and preachers, and very, dominant political figures. You'll see this Sun-Mercury connection. So again, getting to know Lauren, I automatically see her as this very nurturing, warm, comfortable person to be with, but also stable because Taurus is our stability. It's the ability to sustain stability, to kind of, it's the slow and right, slow and right, slow and right. You can't push a Taurus. You, you can't force them. You can't make them go any faster. They're going to do what they want to do, just like the bull. So again, we're seeing another picture, another description of Lauren. That although she's a very an ocean girl, she's also a land on the land like the bull. Okay, the bull has their pasture. They have their herd with them. Okay, and those that they care for, and they care about things like where are we going to where are we going to get our next meal, do we live in security. So home and property, Lauren, is a really big thing that surrounds you. Cancer, being the fourth house ruled by the moon, also represents our home. Taurus, its second house, represents the things we value in life, especially as, when we're young children. What did you learn as a young child? What were the first things that really, that you really valued? So, you are, Lauren, a very emotional yet stable person. We see a lot of qualities, a lot of virtue here because we're looking right now at the positive side. Now, the other pattern I see this could really get a long, in-depth reading, but I want to really, capture these very special things that are coming out at me. We also see this pattern of Venus and Mars in Pisces. Okay, so another conjunction, another water sign. Um, so not only are you extremely intuitive when it comes to your surroundings, Pisces, another water sign, is able to actually go in and stand in the shoes of somebody else. You ever hear anybody say, you should stand in my shoes, that's what a Pisces is able to do. Pisces, all ruled by the feet. It's kind of funny that we would use the terminology of, stand in my shoes. That's what a Pisces is able to do. Sometimes that can be very difficult because we can go in and out. I use myself with the moon in Pisces, the ability to go in and out of feeling everyone around you on a very deep individual basis. Now, right before we came on tonight, although we have all these planets in Mercury in Pisces right now with the Sun, Mercury retrograde, Neptune. Okay, we have this strong Neptunian. So I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to flow. This is partly my homeland in Pisces. I'm comfortable, but with Mercury retrograde, it's just like you don't know which way you're going. And so for me to be able to come out and use that side of me, that intuitive side to me, that I'm connecting with you, I'm connecting with this chart, I have no boundaries, I'm allowing this flow, it also requires me to maintain a space and a certain amount of energy where I can, really allow myself to be this vessel right now, which I have to be able to move out of the way. Now, when you're operating on this high of a level, and for those of you who want to do astrology, this is a practice, this is a discipline, this is also a gift. If you have this gift where you are able to be a vessel, then you also have to know how to kind of preserve that energy. So I've got this amazing crew right now, especially, they're young and they are so excited and they're able to get on this computer and make this whole thing look so cool. I just get to come on and be the astrologer. So I have all this amazing energy around me. So right before we get on, we have all of this stuff going on and I'm picking up on and I'm feeling, and then I have to stop myself and I have to say, okay, wait a minute. I have to have this energy that I have to be able to offer out when I'm allowing this to come through me. So I had to step out a minute and okay, wait, I'm giving away too much energy. I need to rein it back in so I can give it out. Now I'm sharing an example of myself because we're talking about the Piscean energy, but Lauren having Venus and Mars there would understand that it's a constant daily job. It's almost a full time job just being a Pisces for those you Pisces out there, right? Full time job, just kind of riding the wave all day long and knowing when you need to back up and say, oh, wait a minute, I need to, reconnect with myself. I need to ground myself because it's like being a psychic sponge. And so learning learning how to use the tools or the energy, I should say, that we were given. I call it our fingerprint in the sky. This is, reading a chart. We're looking at all these different sides of ourselves. And there's no two charts alike. You can be close, you can be time twins and stuff, but technically, there is no two charts exact. Everyone has their individual fingerprint. The more you know who you are, the more you're able to really thrive and really be all that you are. Often because we don't understand some of these complex psychological things. I mean, when we get into astrology, we get into psychological stuff. When I do readings for those of you who are open, however deep you want to go, we talk about psychological things and how we feel and how we look at life. Everybody looks at life differently. And for you, Lauren, you have so much amazing intuitive ability, nurturing ability, empath, okay, to the first degree, a healer. And then with this sun and moon in Taurus, I see sanctuary. You're somebody that people feel safe with. Now, you're very young right now. You're very, very young, born in 1990. I also wanted to add, in looking at this chart, you also have Jupiter in Cancer. Okay, so there's another huge planetary energy coming in through you with this Cancer nature. Okay, so wow, and I know she'd asked me, or Lauren, you'd asked me a few questions. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get back on here or not. Hang tight. I might not have that up right now. Okay. But you were talking about, your career and, where you are right now. Now, a lot of times with people who are young, I like to be able, I can kind of try to see what we see down the road. What do we see down the road? What are you innately born to do? Now, often we can look down here and say, I see this vision. But no matter what we see, each person still has to do the work, has to do the hole digging sometimes in life, has to do the hard stuff, to get to that point, because each stage that we take is a part of us truly connecting and identifying to our passion and actually living it out. Before you can teach it, before you can do it, you have to live it. Even those who write books, often they write books way into their 60s and 70s because they really want to live it before they write it. And in understanding astrology, it's a beautiful glimpse right into who we are. Often you might go to like a psychiatrist or a counselor, and, it could take years for them to, kind of figure out who you are or you to express who you are. But when we look at the chart, I mean, it's like we go there immediately, right out the gate. We know what you have to work with. And so if I were looking at career, okay, first thing I would say, for those of you who have Pisces in your chart, and Lauren having Venus and Mars and Pisces in your chart, you have the ability to actually look into the future and see that vision. You can see yourself It's one of the gifts of Pisces is to be able to know what's going to happen before what happens. Okay? It's also the ability, to dream of the future or have these visions like you just know your heart will start to beat when you have those visions. Now, that doesn't mean you're not having a vision that's 7 to 10 years away. Often Pisces does have visions that far in advance. So, it's hard not to get discouraged when you're seeing it, but then you have to go through what it takes to get there. So, what do you see in your future as a young person? What have you seen yourself doing? The other thing I look at is the fact that this strong Cancerian nature tells us this is the spiritual doctor. So, any type of work that's healing, a nurse, Reiki, massage, design, real estate. That's another huge thing with your Sun and Mercury and Taurus. So what I'm trying to show you guys is I'm just taking the pieces of the puzzle that I've been given and kind of laying them out on the table. And I'm saying, looking at what you have to work with and your talents and who you are, right? The first glance, you have this ability to create healing and business together. There's a strong earth nature, Sun, Mercury, and Taurus, right? And then you have the water. That coming together makes mud. And when you see water and earth together, mud, think about mud. You might think, oh, mud just doesn't sound good. Actually, the number one healing agent is mud. In mud, we can soak our bodies. It brings out, the toxins. Mud will help bring down inflammation and swelling. Mud, has this ability to create healing in our body. If you're burned, if you've hurt yourself, you put some mud on that, you're out camping, you burn yourself, you want to do something kind of earthy, you put mud right on it and it'll calm that down. So having people in your life that have a strong water and earth attribute is very special. So you have that, Lauren, and I think that's super special. So, again, Pisces, we also see the empath. We see animals, often horses. We see, the psychic, the medium, the writer, the movie maker, the photographer. Okay, so again, I'm just taking all these pieces and making up your resume. This is your astrological resume that you can say, these are the things I'm good at. Now, you may explore them all. You may try a lot of different things. The next 10 years is super important to try a lot of different things, okay? Now, the last thing I'm going to say, because we're going to this is a glimpse into chart reading. And as I go throughout the weeks, we can look at different aspects, different angles of reading the chart. Tonight, I just really want to show you kind of what I see at a glance. I mean, I didn't study this chart before I opened it. I really wanted it to be, you know, off the cuff, at a glance, what speaks to me. And that's when astrology is really in your heart and in your passion. When you open up a chart and it begins to speak to you, as an astrologer, don't go into it with this plan that these are the things I'm going to look at and these are the things I'm going to say. And, this is my platform. Maybe in the beginning, you kind of have step by steps. But as you become and allow the intuition to take place, an intuitive astrologer, this is when I'm showing you the freedom. I'm looking at this chart right now. This is coming forth as I speak. But I'm excited because I can feel this really positive energy coming through. Lauren, opening your chart, connecting with it, I feel like I'm connecting with you specifically. I can feel you. You are just such a beautiful soul. And, I'd love to see what your eyes look like because Taurus, number one in the most beautiful eyes, Cancer and Pisces, I mean, they must be beautiful ocean eyes. I mean, that's what I see. I can begin to see your physical attributes. Now, of course, this is just, what we see and interpret. You could have Pisces mermaid hair, all right? As a Cancer, again, those eyes. Um, as a Taurus, do you have that beautiful voice? So again, I'm reading this chart. I'm letting it speak to me. A profile is beginning to come through. And obviously, not seeing you, not ever talking to you, that's what's so neat about astrology, especially when I, get to hear afterward, did any of this apply to you? That's when it gets exciting, when I get that, getting that, you letting me know how this applied to you. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to say that was super important is that, Lauren, you were born, and those of you out there who were born in 88, 89, and 90, okay? So Lauren, being born in 1990, was born under an extremely rare configuration that is being talked about by astrologers everywhere, watching you guys this 3-year period, because we had a stellium, and that's when planets, especially the large, slow-moving planets, line up in a conjunction. You rarely see this happen. So in 88 and in 89 and in 90, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune all lined up in Capricorn. So this generation is so special because they are coming in, they are breaking down the old systems. They're breaking out of the box that they were raised with, of the thinking, just like we all are. you know, our parents teach us things, and we believe those. But as we move in, to our prime time, we begin to have our own beliefs. It's hard as parents because when we look at our children, we want them to have what we know, what we believe. This generation that I'm talking about, being in Capricorn, is blowing it all out of the water. And they're showing us how to believe in themselves, how to believe in their own ideas. Capricorn is our money sign, okay? It's the 10th house, and it's all about building the empire. This group of people are going to have a lot of money around them, be responsible for a lot of money. Now, what they do with it is, everybody has free will. But it's not so much money as like my generation saw it. It's more energy. They understand money to be this energy that makes the world go round. And so they're not controlled by money. That's why they get it, because they know how to keep it going through their hands and help others and create this empire that is teaching everyone that you can have your own empire. That's what this is all about as we move in, to what we're moving into in the years ahead. Is this generation's going to come and is really, really showing us how to, you know, break everything down and build it up from scratch. So I just want to encourage you. There's a lot more that we could talk about this generation, and maybe I'll do a whole video on it. But I just want to let you know you were born and you are being called and asked throughout your life to set the trend, to create from the ground up. And you will be responsible for and entrusted money at different times in your life. So that, that being said, that's always nice to hear, right? So, Lauren, I think you're just an amazingly beautiful person. I hope that you can find that confidence in you to begin to really embrace the gifts and talents you have and be confident about them. Your North Node is in Aquarius, so you have the ability to do some great things on the internet in your future that could really go a long way. So again, your generation is all about using social media and how to do that. So I hope that was helpful. If you'd like any further, deeper part of the reading, you can always schedule that with me or any of you guys. I would love to, be able to spend time doing readings with you. So I don't know. Do we have any questions? Did we have any questions come through? Because I don't know if I can see it unless I go on YouTube. Hold on a minute, you guys. I'm just winding down. It's my son, Ethan.
I'm back.
You're back. He's back. He's pushing me out of the way.
Yeah.
Aries. He hates when I do that. Okay. They're setting me up here. Let's see.
Make sure your volume's down.
Oh, make sure my volume's down. Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys have questions.
Here we go. Yeah, actually, why don't you ask me?
Okay, let's see. Well, let me see what we got going on here. I'm just going to go through them a little bit and see what we have. Yeah, you guys will be able to rewatch this also. And each week we're going to dive deeper into how to doing the natal chart. So, let's see. Let me see here. Yes, Carrie says, I have a beautiful singing voice. It's because of my Mars and Taurus. Absolutely. In fact, if we look at, and I know you, Carrie, because you've done some readings, we've done some readings together. Those born in that have Mars and Taurus, you see Celine Dion, Michael Jackson, Madonna, many great singers you'll see with Mars and Taurus. So the Sun and Mercury is also there to lend to that beautiful voice. But if you have other aspects in Taurus, you may be very musical. Let's see. Oh, wow. I'm looking for actual questions. Oh, how do you interpret interceptions? Well, I think that, it's very interesting because when you see an interception, I believe that we may need more focus. There's more focus in those houses that are intercepted. And that's something we can get into a little bit more. It's kind of hard to do a whole segment right now on that. But I just believe in a general answer that those areas we need more focus on. There's a lot more to do there, and when you have intercepted houses, that's something that may be hidden, a part of you that's not seen on the outside. It doesn't mean it's not effective. Doesn't mean it's not effective. It just means that it's a part of you that may be worked on in a more private way. At least my experience in the interceptions I have in my chart. So for those of you who asked that, hopefully that will be helpful. All right. Cool. So in depth, it's amazing. I hope this encourages you guys with your astrology. I really believe astrology is a language, just like different languages. There's different types of astrology. I think it's how we perceive and how we're able, the chart's able to speak to us. We've been following the stars from the beginning of time. And, over the last, 1,000 years, even, last few centuries, we have lights and we have all these things down here on Earth that we get further and further away from following the stars, from communicating and connecting and watching, because there's so many things down here electronically we're all focused on. But when you slow down and you begin to understand that these are patterns, I call it like a little cheat sheet that you get to really connect with who you are. And, it really taps into a side of our brain that just opens up and we're able to see life totally differently. And so that's what I love about astrology. We're all on the same playing field. And so for me, it took the judgment away. It took the judgment. It doesn't mean that, there's shadow sides all throughout our charts as well. And so it doesn't mean just because we know astrology that we live this, outstanding life and never slip or fall or have different experiences, because when we understand our chart, we just understand our basic blueprint. The next step of astrology is understanding what's happening up in the sky and how it is affecting us right now. So, for example, The Sun and Mercury and Neptune are all in Pisces. So for Lauren, born with Venus and Mars in Pisces, this is igniting the most in-depth part of your soul. Pisces really speaks to the soul. So it may be no coincidence that you and I have connected during this Piscean transit to help you go straight down into your heart and connect with who you are at such a young age. How many years can you that you may not have to battle with yourself? I battled with myself for years of just who I was and why don't I feel like I fit in, or why am I always off here in this other direction, or think like this. The more I understood my chart, the more I understood the type of thinker I am and that there's nothing wrong with me. And so that's what I encourage when I give readings and I teach astrology, is how to accept who you are, but also to realize, for example, right now, Lauren, and those of you with Pisces may be getting this incredible soul connection, the critical moment that changes your life. But at the same time, with all this water in the air, many people will feel depressed and discouraged because when we have this ocean type watery energy, think of the waves. They're all over the place. And so inside of us becomes that way. So there's a shadow side, but if we understand that part of it, then there's the cheat sheet. We can say, this is potentially what I could feel like if I don't take care of myself and if I don't think positively. So yes, I am coming out with a positive reading. I'm looking at the best in this chart right now. I'm bringing out the best because I want to bring out the best in you. And when people bring out the best in us, there's just nothing like that. It's such a special gift to have somebody else actually bring out the best in you and want to do that. So that's what I wanted to do tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. I'm going to be doing the next 4 Wednesday nights. I'm going to be doing a reading like this and answering questions. Also, if you send me your email, we'll put the link below to my email. You're going to register for the contest. Also, if you want to ask me some specific questions, if you're not picked with your chart, I'm still going to be going through those questions and maybe answering your question. Again, those of you who have already emailed me, you're still in the contest, and I will be announcing next week the contest winner for week 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Anything else? Oh, subscribe. I got to have here, come on over here. Tell me what I got to tell them. Because we have all kinds of things going on. What kind of stuff do we have going
hit the
on?
bell so that next time she comes live and you don't want to miss that. Oh, there I am.
Come down here.
You don't.
Okay. Tell them all about it.
You don't want to miss the next time she goes live, so make sure the little bell thing is hitting. Subscribe, share with people, email.
Email us for sure, because we have other great things we're going to be offering them.
And I believe we're going to be starting Wednesday nights.
Okay, Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights will be our live night. And
where can they find me? We have a new Facebook page. We got a fresh new page.
Chrystal Lynn Astrology on Facebook, and we're rebranding her page. And we're Instagram.
Oh, we're rocking and rolling on Instagram.
Chrystal Lynn Astrology. Go follow. We have a lot of good daily content on Chrystal Lynn Astrology.
And I want to thank everyone out there the last, 7 years or so that I've been out here who've been following me from the beginning or been following me over the years. I want to do this to really bring us all back connected together and have some cool stuff to share and to do.
If you guys have any suggestions on platforms that you guys use and would love to follow Chrystal Lynn, we're the team that helps get that content to all the different platforms. Or if you have any other suggestions, we always love to hear what people have to say.
And where can they find you for the other work that you've done?
Creative Dynamics, and I'm on mainly Facebook.
You're mainly Facebook.
Instagram.
Yep.
Creative Dynamics.
This is his studio, and he's got it rocking and rolling over here. He's got so much great energy and branding all kinds of people. And now he's helping Mama.
That's right. We have a lot of cool stuff that we're working on. The past, 6 months or so, we've been working on a lot of really fun stuff, putting together a membership platform that we're going to be releasing soon. Another thing she's been working on is training astrologers to teach astrology, and just there we go.
I want to be able to see you.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, you're trying to hide. I'm trying to get you to see. There you go.
Training astrologers on how to teach astrology, teaching people just more in depth on how to read a chart, even if you don't want to use it as a business, but you'd like to know how to read your chart. We're doing a membership course for that, so that's going to be released soon. Right now, we're going to be doing these live videos on Wednesday, and we'll let you guys know more. So if you go enter for that free contest, we'll also follow up when the membership site is up and running. And we're going to be doing a lot fun stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd love to hear. So we're going to be doing different astrological interpretations on hot current topics going on in the world. And so if you know anything that's just like, I wonder why this person did this, or somebody famous in your in your life, or not even life, but with what you like.
In your realm.
Yeah, in your realm, put suggestions. I want to know why this person did this, or what famous person, why this person stopped or did or whatnot.
And crime stories, which is my favorite. So we want to come out and really talk about the astrology and current affairs. So that's going to be so fun.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
If you have suggestions for things you guys want to hear about, we're always looking to make new content and would love to hear what you guys have to say.
Very cool. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. The email's below, and we will talk to you soon.